Okay, next on what cheeses me off is... Harry, you said this.
I cheese you off.
Why? How can you still get COVID if you've been vaccinated? A vaccination... Actually, you know what? What should this be called? It's not a vaccination. Because if it was a vaccination, we wouldn't get it.
Is it? I don't...
So what should it be called?
You know what? If there's a doctor listening at all, and I'm sure no one with that high level of university education does that, can you give us a call on 90692087? Look, I'm sure we have not been given a placebo.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure 92 point whatever % of us have not been given a placebo. What I'm interested in knowing now that we have this Omicron variant of the Wuhan flu running around.
Right. Good for you.
Yeah. So now we've got this variant running around, and it's going absolutely gangbusters, right? Like, this is the most popular thing since, the Apple iPod Shuffle. And all these hospitalizations that we're getting, are these people, or are the hospitalizations, because like with Delta, it was almost virtually 100% of the hospitalizations were non-vaccinated individuals. Right.
Okay, good, yes.
With Omicron, what are notice we're not being given any percentages of vaccinated, unvaccinated, and all that sort of stuff. So, with only 8% of the population left unvaccinated, and we've got this thing running absolutely rampant, and I know that you can get this cholera even though you've been vaccinated, because one of my kids had it. We can't call it a vaccine. I don't know whether is analgesic the term that you use. Is some sort of inoculation the thing? But if this is all designed to keep us out of the hospitals, how many of these hospitalizations? Because now we've got like over 1,000 people in hospital. Do you know? And if this keeps going on, it's going to be 2,000.
The mortality rate originally was. I mean, if we believe their figures, it was 0.5%. That was the original mortality rate. Now it is 0.5%.
Yeah.
That's the mortality rate. But so it's definitely gone down.
I get
and the vaccination is working to a certain extent.
Yeah. But if it works, then why do we still have to worry about it? Like, seriously, why? So if I get, let's say I get it, what difference does it make if I'm running around in the community?
So here's the question that's come up today, that the government has announced a brown, what do they call it?
A code brown.
Which is obviously, I have to think about it. Apparently it's the first
it's
code
the
brown
only
in 40 years.
It's the only state of emergency that comes with its own sound effect.
Did you? I never thought about that.
Code
Trusting
brown.
you to think about it. So
there's only one reason why you call it code brown.
So code brown means that they can a business or a company, whatever, an organization that is of great importance can request their staff to come back from holiday, to not go on holiday, as in your leave requests have been suspended, and to work overtime and all that sort of nonsense.
And they're deploying people in all different areas, which is then having knock-on effects.
Yep.
It's always the law of unintended consequences. I can tell you the work my wife does has effectively just come to a screaming halt because both of us, as you know, work in driver training, but Tam specialises in medical review work. So people who've had strokes, heart attacks, they've got degenerative cognitive issues, whatever it may be.
Oh, the medical teams.
The medical teams, all the occupational therapists that she works with, they've all been deployed either in different departments in the hospital or to completely different hospitals.
Necessary services.
Where they're going to be literally just changing the beds and showering patients and all that sort of stuff.
Did you read that there was a hospital worker who said that, a staff member, who said that they had COVID. And they got over their COVID, and then they said, I had no choice. I had to go back to work. As in, they didn't wait the prescribed 5 days or whatever it is, or 7 days or 10 days,
But
whatever.
there should be
They
no
have to
prescribed time.
And maybe that's a good point. They had to go back to work. And so in that abattoir the other day that they closed down, and the stupid supermarkets are taking their product off the shelf, which is really just insane. It's pure insanity is leading the way. Now, I actually have no drama with the abattoir staying open. And I don't care if someone wearing a mask inside the abattoir is working, and I'm sure out of the 50 people I work around in the abattoir myself, I'm sure someone has COVID.
Has to now.
Yep. And they can't survive. The business can't survive without their people. So they get over it and they come back to work. Why do you have to wait the extra couple of days? Because...
When before, certainly not in our living memory, but when before has there ever been a time when for any sort of disease, for any sort of disease, there was a prescribed period of time you had to wait even after all symptoms had abated.
Yep.
Right? Even after all symptoms had
That's right.
abated. So
you felt
now
better, you went back to work.
And here we've got people that for whatever reason may need to test on a regular basis because of the work they do or the and the organisations they work within, totally asymptomatic. Oh, you got a positive test, bang, you're out of here for 7 days. What for?
Yep.
What
100%.
for? Oh, because they can pass it on, but they're only going to be passing it on to other people who've been vaccinated. Right? The whole thing reeks.
Yep.
And we've been saying this now virtually for as long as we've been able to talk on air.
And the last, what cheeses me off, is folks out there driving around with masks hanging from your rearview mirror. Bloody take them off your rearview mirror. I mean, you will get fined for it. But regardless, how stupid do you have to be to obstruct your vision? And don't talk to me about my telephone being on the windscreen.
I was just going to ask, where is your mobile phone mounted whilst you're driving in the car?
Yeah, but all taxis and everything have them down below, whatever.
I'm not talking about taxis. I'm asking you where your phone is mounted in the car when you're driving.
It's at a point where
it's a frickin' eye level, ladies and gentlemen. I am telling you, it's a frickin' eye level.
But the masks are hanging.
Do you know where my phone sits when I'm in the car?
Do you know I don't care?
If anybody does care, I'd love to have a chat with you on 90692087. It stays in my pocket.